There was a time I miserably failed my interview. It was an interview for a scholarship for Germany, and I was living in Georgia back then, and I really wanted to get that scholarship. But the moment I got into the interview in front of 5 interviewers, just my German disappeared somewhere in a thin air. So all I remembered was to say hello, and that was it, and a few sentences. And on the smallest question of how I would market something, I was just all over the place. I think the problem here was I just wanted it too much. I was just like so desperate and so nervous and everything. And I go home, I remember I was really felt beaten up and really like a failure. And my father says, Irina, it's okay. Look, I just saw a newspaper. There's another scholarship. And he brings this newspaper and says, Japanese newspaper to go and, just Japanese scholarship to go and study in Japan. And with huge bold letters, it says, Japanese mandatory. And I'm looking at my dad, I'm saying, hey, have you ever heard me utter any Japanese word? And he says, what's the big deal? You know how to say konnichiwa, right? So just go and, try your best. And he convinces me to apply. And in 4 weeks, I'm in front of the interviewers for Japanese scholarship. And I remember I'm super chill, super relaxed, because what can you be afraid of if you don't know anything, right? So I just go and I say, hey, konnichiwa, everybody, konnichiwa. And I sit down and I'm smiling, and they ask me something in Japanese and I have no idea what it is. So I'm thinking, okay, what can it be? It can be, Irina, tell about your life, Irina, tell about your career, what's your horoscope, one of those. And so in my English, I start to tell stories about myself and everything I would do, everything I wanted to tell in that German interview, all the big things that I would build with marketing and with my company and the good things I would do for my country. I just gave this speech in 7 minutes during this interview. And I remember the gaze and the eyes of this interviewers wondering, what is the deal of this girl? The funny thing is, I was absolutely sure, obviously, they would not take me and I would not receive the scholarship. But 9 months down the line, I received this call of someone, with Japanese accent telling me, Irina-san, we chose you for a scholarship. And I was like, why? What? This is how I got to study in Japan for 2 years with the help of the scholarship. And I actually did a research that turned into my PhD work later. But this is an unbelievable story, how I got into a country which I'm so blessed to have had studied and to have had experience to live without even feel like, yeah, it was just unbelievable, honestly. Even today, I'm wondering, how did they choose me to go there and to study when there were other, people who spoke Japanese. The moral of the story is that, and what I learned is that I was so relaxed in that interview. I had such a positive energy when I was speaking compared to German, because my German was perfect by then, but I just was too anxious, too worried to deliver what I needed to deliver. And here in this interview, I was just so relaxed, so open, so positive. I got it without speaking Japanese language. So when somebody asks me, Irina, I don't qualify for this job because I don't have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'm saying that's okay. That's not the most important. The most important is, with what mindset are you going? With what energy are you going? And what are you actually going to contribute to them and how you feel about that? Much more important than having A, B, C, D in your CV sometimes. Okay? So never say never and always give it a shot.